Hey guys, happy Friday. Hope everybody's doing well. Welcome to Recovery Chat.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the program.
Yes. Hope everybody had a great week. We had a good week.
Got Larry out there. Hello, Larry.
Our little girl is down with a sore throat, fever. Poor thing.
Eric's in the house 2 weeks in a row. Holy
Eric,
smokes.
woohoo!
Holy smokes. Welcome.
Yes, but we've had a good week. Hoping to have another good week. Next week's supposed to be so nice out. I'm so tired of the rain, but hopefully that will be ending.
In the words of Willie
tomorrow.
Vanilli, don't
Yes.
blame it on the rain.
I'm hoping to run out to a quick fundraiser tomorrow for Never Surrender Hope. They have their softball game tomorrow.
Or did you dig your cleats out?
Yeah, I don't think you'll be seeing me out on that
I
field.
know your gloves dry rotted.
Yeah. And I'll share their information in a minute. But yeah, they have a fundraiser tomorrow. It's a softball game. There's going to be a couple teams out there. There's going to be a lot of things for the kids to do. Bring a chair. Just have a good time and help support a really great organization. Last night, Angels in Motion had their fundraiser at Texas Roadhouse. Hope they did well with their fundraiser. And coming up, we here have the Harvest Moon Dance that is coming up. And I would just want to give a shout out. We have a very wonderful friend who donated a very generous
Thank you, John.
donation for a basket or two, whatever we can get, and I really appreciate it. I say thank you for that. Christine, I will be picking up something for the raffle on Wednesday and dropping her tickets off. Thank you so much. But it is the Harvest Moon Dance. It is $40 a person. It is on November 18th at Georgine's at 1320 Newport Road, Bristol, from 8 p.m. till 11. Dinner, dancing, raffles, 50-50. DJ Pappy P will be in the house.
That's right, Pappy P will be live and loud and proud and in the house on that evening.
Yes, this is our
Come on.
third annual Harvest Moon Dance. The dances started with Harvest Moon Dance. This is
How
our
many dances did we have? This is the Harvest Moon one. Then we had a Valentine's and then like a Christmas in July or Luau one.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we've had 7 dances so
number
far.
7. Wow.
7. And
Awesome.
hopefully going strong. And we will have another one February 24th, I believe, for Valentine's Day. Again at Georgine's. So, great cause. Anything that's made from the raffles will be donated to those in early recovery. If you wish to get tickets, I will have them hopefully Monday picking them up. And you can always text me. And I can give you a Venmo account to send the money to and have your tickets waiting at the door for you. Whatever works best for you. It is $40 per person. There will be no alcohol served. It is a sober dinner dance.
Buffet style.
The food is amazing. The entertainment is great. And just a lot of
Off the
people
hook.
coming together and just having a great time. So if you are in the neighborhood, check it out. It's a great time. And
Especially
tomorrow,
if you have someone early in recovery, man, bring them along. Let them see how the recovery world networks and just has fun without drugs and alcohol. Like, you would never know.
right.
I mean, people are having a blast without getting blasted.
Yeah, because
Hey, I got to put that on the flyer.
yeah, but it's such a great cause, and it's such a great time, and it's such a great time to show your loved ones that there is fun
Hi, Barb.
and recovery.
Barb's in the house.
Hey, Barb. John is in the house.
John's in the
Larry's
house.
in the house.
Hey.
Eric's in the
The
house.
troops are all falling in order.
So please feel free to text me or call me and ask any questions about the dance.
And thanks again, John, for your donation. It's
Yes.
going to a great cause.
I'm not sure if John wants to be anonymous, so we won't tell you which John it is. So,
John Boy. Walton.
John Boy. But I really appreciate it. It will help a lot of people in their early recovery. But if you.
Oh, Barb got a new grandson. Woohoo!
Woohoo!
Congratulations.
Very good. And I hope Eric's grandchild is doing good. R2. Well, Lane is just off the hook because that's just
Oh,
who
yeah.
he
Eric
is.
wishes us a happy anniversary.
Well, thank
Thank
you,
you, Eric.
Eric.
Yes, it's our 33rd anniversary today together, me and my honey.
Yes, 33 years, 40 years together. It took them a little while, but
Seems like yesterday.
yeah,
Let's see, I waited and say it worked.
yeah,
I don't want to rush into things. How many years did we date?
yeah, a long time. We've been together
7?
40 years.
Like 7?
Yep, forever. But no, and I do have a wedding dress. If anybody's interested, we'll be selling that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's still in style.
And
I think we had a caller.
yes, we have a caller.
Oh, here comes your family. I know it's your family. Hello, caller.
Happy anniversary to the Parkers.
Thank you. Happy
Wow.
birthday to Bill. My
Thanks.
stepfather's birthday today.
Thanks, guys. Thank you very much.
And it just so happens to be his their anniversary's on Pappy's birthday.
Yeah, we share. A family of sharing.
Well, thank
and
you.
congratulations to Grandma Barbara.
Yes, I'm so excited for her.
The proud grandma.
Yes.
Tell her I said hi and I love her.
Okay. I'm sure she hears
Okay.
you. All righty.
Okay.
Thanks.
Okay.
Thanks for calling.
Thank you.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye. That was my mother from California.
Yes, John, we are young kids. We are young kids, like you
Yes.
said. I had a customer call through me the other day laughing. I was putting freight on the truck. He goes, how many years have I known you? At least 15 years. I met you when I was in my 20s on the job here. And you still look the same. You haven't changed a bit. I just can't get over it. I said, oh, thanks for the kind words. He goes, what's your secret to the fountain of youth? And I go, well, I stick to the 4 basic food groups: grease, fat, oil, and salt. He thought that was pretty funny. But,
And it was really funny because I had posted a video that, it's just old pictures, and they were going through, and at Jackson's watching them with me, and she's like, oh, that's you and Daddy. And I'm like, no, that's me and Pop Pop. She goes, he looks just like Daddy. I say, yes, they do. They are clones. So is your brother. So,
yeah, once I seen him, there was no denying him. There was no sense going on the Jerry Springer show. I saved us all that.
yeah, carbon
All that
copies.
tension.
Carbon copies. But yeah, thanks everybody for the anniversary wishes. Here's to 33 more.
Woo!
Yes. So anybody out there struggling, please let us know. Please pop into the comments, pop in on our phone line, 267-737-8031. If you have anything that you need to get off your chest, that you want to talk about, feel free to reach out. I have my phone on, and I can get any texts as well through the phone number if you can't comment. But we're here, we're listening. Anything in the news lately? I just heard a big, huge fentanyl bust in New York, running out of a daycare. That was pretty scary. I forget how many
Oh,
children.
there's a bigger one up the street from the daycare that went down. I don't think it was today or yesterday. Just a few blocks from that daycare thing.
Yeah, they were talking
really
about.
big.
I didn't get to hear it, but
An apartment building with black trash bags on the windows, and
yeah,
that guy was packaging and marketing it out of there. That was good, good.
yeah. So it's becoming more and more prominent for these kids to be getting hit with Narcan because of the fentanyl issues. It's being left in parks and
There's one
in the
area
homes.
they have it on the school buses. I couldn't catch the whole story on the thing, but the school bus drivers are carrying Narcan somewhere in the nation.
I believe it's. I forget. I won't say what it is because I forget. I just was watching it the other day, but
Yeah, I heard the end of the story on the news, and I didn't hear the beginning.
yeah, they were saying New York. They had to Narcan a 2-year-old in the playground, and this daycare. Oh my gosh, my heart was broken. I couldn't even believe what I was hearing. But I'm glad that they're, tracking it down and getting it dealt with, because that's pretty scary when there's more and more children being affected by this because, you nod out, whatever, and it's being left around, and it's getting pretty ugly out there. So, it's hard for me with the kids. It's just
Well, people get
breaks
high
my
and they
heart.
go dipping out, dropping things outside, whatever. Kids are curious.
kids are very curious. So,
Like I said, they ain't like they really have to take much, right? And just examining it, touching it, and then you touch your face, whatever. I mean, it's very potent, especially the fentanyl. Now it's very potent. Now we're just waiting for we got a bunch of viewers now. We're just waiting. I think we're going to do chapter 12 in the book tonight. Trust and forgiveness. We're
Yes.
just waiting to see the tote board pump up like it has. We don't want to get started too quick, so we go through our idle chit chat in the beginning and
Yeah.
our family salutations and
yeah.
such.
And I'm just, a couple people are asking for the link, so bear with me for 1 minute
Bear with her.
while I share this out, because there's
So anybody have any stories, anything they're curious about, want us to touch on tonight or whatever?
I would really
text it in
like
there.
some
You give
feedback on that.
I'm going to talk, text us, say, hey, how about this, that, or any other thing?
This, that, or the other.
We'll be glad to touch on it.
And
I'm all fresh tonight, looking good there. I had to grab a quick shave before I went on the air. I was looking a little barbaric.
yes, for our anniversary, I made him a Jewish apple cake.
She got it right. Earlier, it was an apple Jewish cake.
I don't know what it
She
was.
made. Yes, I made an apple Jewish cake. I said, you mean a Jewish apple cake?
And I said, enjoy it, because it'll be the last time you get one.
It was very good. It was very good. It's a favorite of mine from being a child, growing up in a neighborhood that was half German, Irish, and half Jewish. I had
Yeah.
the best of both worlds food-wise.
And I'm
South
over
Philadelphia.
it. It's just like putting a lasagna together.
It was worth every minute. It
Way
was
too
delicious, just as I've always remembered it.
trying to get it put together, and Lane's like pulling all the apples out and eating. Like, will you stop? Get out of here.
My grandson is very food-driven.
He is, but it was good. I haven't eaten a piece of it, but I had a taste of it. So that was good. But yeah, if anybody ever feels the need to share, something that's in the news, or if anybody wants us to touch base on anything that really piques your interest, let us know. If we don't know what it is that you're asking, we will definitely check it out and research it and come back to you with what we feel is needed for you. John likes his
Oh, he
made
likes Jewish
crispy.
apple cake too.
And you know what? I was
like 'em crispy
thinking,
on the top.
I was like, you know what? I should put like a like a streusel on the top. You know, the crumbles, the sugar. And
Streusel's
cinnamon.
German. You're mixing two nationalities
Well,
together.
I don't
okay?
care. It's just plain. I said
You
Jackson.
don't need a German Jewish apple cake, all right? It's just too much controversy. It's sacrilegious. It's whatever.
I said, Jackson, would you
No
like
streusel.
would you like a piece of cake? And she said, no, there's no icing on it.
She's very observant.
She's like, no, that looks gross. So she's
Nice.
not going to have a bite of it. So it's all Pop-Pop's. It's all his. But yeah, he'll enjoy it. I'll take a bite. I'll have some with
Good. I'm glad to have another treat that nobody wants.
my mushroom coffee tomorrow.
Like my
I'll have
coffee ice cream in the fridge. Nobody touches it but me. I love
Yes.
it. I know it's in there.
Yes.
No matter how desperate they get.
Yes. No, I do like the coffee ice cream, so he does have to battle me for it.
But she hates coffee.
Yes, I do. I'm
Don't
not.
drink it.
It's not.
Drank
It's,
it her whole life around me. Just one day she
Yes.
goes, I don't like coffee anymore. I said, oh, okay, honey, that's fine.
yeah, I just woke up one day and just was like, no, I'm just not feeling it. It just turned my stomach
Oh,
so bad. So yeah.
More
I'm
coffee for me.
I'm a tea toddler, so I'll have it with my tea tomorrow or my mushroom coffee, and
Mushroom coffee.
yes, but yeah. So reach out
Dip my
and
cheesesteak in it.
yep. I don't know if Sexy Voice Brian is gonna reach out. He
There's that one coffee out there that some kind of marsupial eats the coffee beans, then excretes them just to keep it nice.
no, this has
And
like
then they brew that shit coffee. I worked too hard to drink that. I just can't I don't care how good it tastes. Excrement coffee. It's like, are
Yeah.
you kidding me?
I would have a problem with that myself. So
I mean, I'm not a finicky guy, but I stay away. Food wise, I stay away from all animal genitalia and anything with excrement. I see no reason to have to eat that.
yes,
No Rocky Mountain oysters, none of that stuff. No.
yes. I hope you found us, Sexy Voice Brian. He was gonna jump in on the call line.
Okay.
Not sure if he's driving or not. He's awesome. He does the dog rescue. He transports the dogs, so he's usually driving on Friday night. So I'm not sure if he's home or not. I thought I saw him taking a dog somewhere today. So
I see
an
lots of
awesome
dogs come in the
cause.
airlines.
yeah.
At American Airlines, they bring a lot of dogs in from like Puerto Rico and stuff. And
Yeah.
the rescue teams go. I mean, they'll bring like 30 dogs sometimes.
And he comes from Florida, so he drives up so far, and then they hand off to the next driver, or sometimes it's just in that area. So I just think that's awesome that he does that and saves another dog's life. It's just adorable, and he does all of them: adult dogs, puppies. And if he calls in, he can give the
Okay. Well, here we are, chapter 12.
organization a
We'll have our dog adoption show afterwards.
yes.
Tonight we're going to focus on recovery.
Trust and forgiveness.
Section 12 in the book there, as you all know, from the Smart Recovery Program.
Yes. And
Chapter
again,
12,
you
Section
can
12.
always go on smartrecovery.org, the resource button, the little 3 dots, and then resource, and it'll open up.
Mrs. Olson. But you are old. You are old, Larry. Yeah. Yes, Mrs. It's not affiliated with Mrs. Olson. I forgot all about her until you mentioned that.
Yeah. Trust and forgiveness. Addictive behaviors typically include deception, false promises, broken promises, and dishonest behaviors. You may want to believe what your loved one wants you to believe. That he is all right. That the addiction is not a problem. That she didn't take money from your purse. That this time he really is quitting. But again, the evidence that your loved one is not entirely trustworthy may become overwhelming. You may quite possibly find that the untrustworthy behaviors extend beyond the addiction and affect other areas of your life with your loved one. This section will explore ways that family and friends can deal with broken trust, rebuilding trust, and letting go of past hurts.
You skipped the whole line, you know.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's all right. They didn't even notice.
Sorry. I hope it wasn't an important line.
It was just, no, it wasn't. Too bad.
But that's so hard when our loved ones, are doing the right thing and that they are, on the right track. It's us that can hold them back because our trust is so broken. And it's important for us to remember that they are trying to move on in their life. They are trying to move ahead. And we can't seem to let that past go. And that is where the problems become. It's so hard for them to move on. Like, why should I? I'm doing the right thing and they still don't believe me.
Because trust takes time.
Yes. Time. Things I must earn. I love that saying, and John Tanzi shared that with me when we
We
first...
don't have to give him credit for the rest of his life for that there. We just took it around with it. We love it.
Yes, I love it.
Time. Things I must earn.
Yes. So this section is trust. Lost trust is a common issue for family and friends of a loved one. With an addiction, they experience feelings of disappointment, frustration, hurt, and anger over the loved one's behaviors. They may find themselves walking on eggshells, unable to trust their ability to predict their loved one's emotional responses. They may be concerned for their financial security or their physical safety, as they are unable to trust their loved one to be respectful of their needs in these areas. The consistently unreliable and untruthful communication that often accompanies addiction has an enormous emotional impact on family and friends that takes a long time to heal. And that is true. Trust is so easily broken and so hard to rebuild.
So this new camera angle, I'm bigger than life. Look.
Yeah. So expectations and acceptance. For family and friends to hold on to an expectation that they should be able to trust their loved one who has an addiction or is in early recovery is unrealistic and the recipe for disappointment. A more realistic view is to accept that once broken, trust takes a long time to rebuild, and that rebuilding is the responsibility of the loved one, not the family and friends. And
Did you see what words in there? Takes a long time.
yes,
Put a little asterisk around it.
and and it is something that is hard to gain back, especially if there has been many relapses. You start getting some time under your belt, your family starts to respect your wishes, and you're doing the right thing, but the family still has that shoe drop feeling, and just waiting for it to drop. So just keep doing what you're supposed to be doing and don't hold that against them. I know that's so hard to say, and I know you're probably like screaming like, what the hell are you talking about? But it's so important that you really take the time to realize that it's going to take time for the family or friend to accept that positive lifestyle. So recovery, hope, and trust. Early recovery does restore hope, But hope and trust are not the same thing.
Yeah, that's a
It
good
can
point.
be very challenging for family and friends and for the loved one in recovery to balance the loved one's desire to be trusted in their recovery efforts with the very real need for family and friends to fully accept the reality that not every recovery attempt will be 100% successful or 100% immediate. Family and friends would also do well to fully accept that even though using has stopped, some old behaviors may linger.
So true.
It may be some time before the loved one is willing or able to address the changes needed to rebuild trust in the relationship. Rebuilding trust is not an easy task. After engaging in sometimes years of addiction related activities and behaviors that have taught their family and friend that they cannot be trusted, it is not realistic for a loved one to expect to rebuild trust quickly. And I it is hard. It is very hard to get to that point of that trust.
And a really good point is those old behaviors. They're hard to change, and you're going to notice some of these old behaviors, even though they're not using no more. But you're still going to see those behaviors lingering, in their interactions and such. And they're kind of upsetting at times when you see them. And you're like, oh shit, I don't.
Right.
What do you think? I mean, you right away, you're thinking the worst, which you have every reason to.
Right.
You know what I mean? I mean, it's going to take time. For you to be able to let your guard down some.
Right. And the early recovery is great because they come out with such a good feeling about themselves. They're feeling
They're all gung
strong.
ho. Or a lot of times, like Larry said, they're riding that pink cloud. They're all positive and this and that. Like.
Right, it is. And Barb, there's the issue. Your family is not willing to get the education, get the support from other family members. So it's hard. It's going to be hard for them to accept that and to not feel like it's not going to happen again. But that's on them. And that should not be a reason for you to, step back into that reality.
Remember, it's great that if they're on board and such, but you got to remember, you're doing this for you.
Right.
You first and foremost. Okay? Everyone else is second. You know what I mean? So you're doing what you have to do.
Yes.
You're very brave. What you just admitted on there. We've never brought that up.
Right.
And that's a great sign there, Barb, that you're at ease with that. And you're doing great. You're doing what you're supposed to do.
Right. And I'm not going to sugarcoat it like, oh, well, that's okay. Get back up on the horse again.
No, it is.
We've already talked and we already said,
I told everybody, don't let a relapse turn into a collapse.
Right.
All right? You turn around, you address the issue right away, and you pick up where you left off and just keep pushing forward. You don't just sit there and you feel sorry for yourself. And it happened. Now let's move forward and get on
Right.
with our recovery.
You know what happened, you know why it happened, and you know what you need to do
Now
differently.
you know what to look out for next time.
And that's the most
Look at
important
it as a learning
thing.
experience.
Exactly. And, again, they're waiting for the shoe to drop. Okay, she did it again. Oh, she did it again. Oh, she did it again. Like, that's on them, A lot of times, it is part of the recovery. It doesn't have to be.
Yeah, that's you hate to say that, but it is. I mean, in the same token, it's very common. It's very rare. Anybody's one and done, but it happened. People do it like that. I mean, it's not as common, but it is. We hate to say it's part of recovery. It's just a play on words, but
Exactly.
in a sense, it's part of a lot of people's recovery.
Right. And remember, they're not going to be all, oh, look at mom, rah, rah, rah. They're like, oh, she did it again. So, time, things I must earn. You know where you went wrong and you know how you can move forward. And that's, reaching out. You make sure that you reach out. You're being watched. Yep, you are. I mean, again, here's the family who is not willing to jump in and get the support that, the family, like us, like I had to figure out, what to do, where to go, how to help, and, learning that I'm not the answer, that I'm not the person that's going to help my loved one. And learning that, they're going to do what they're going to do. And I have to be good with that and know where my lane is and stay in it. And it's not easy, especially in the beginning. It's so not easy. So, don't beat yourself up. It's, it is what it is. And until they get the education and the support that the families need, it's going to be like that. They're going to just keep waiting. And that's on them. Don't give them the satisfaction of throwing that shoe. It's like John says, just go forward. Just move on.
You've acknowledged your mistake. Push forward and continue with your program.
Yep. And reach out. I can't say it enough.
Maybe if they're a little more supportive, you'd have had a little better luck. Who knows? You will never know. Can't blame it on nobody. We blame it on ourselves.
Yep.
It's just something that happens. Push forward and continue with what you learned. I mean, with the tools in your toolbox, use them.
Yep.
And Lori says, you feel weak, reach out to a friend. You got to remember, got to reach out. There's a lot of help out there, but you got to make the first move.
That's the program. That's why you get the phone list. That's why you get the meeting list. That's why you attend the meetings, because there's people out there that have done the same thing, and they know what you're going through.
And who knows, you might be sitting there and you get used to talking to somebody, you might just come out and say, you know what, I'm feeling off. Something's off. I'm concerned with myself. I got to talk to somebody.
Yeah. And you can't talk to your
you'll
family.
feel it. It's just something that happens. It's
Right.
something that builds up until it gets to that point. So
Yes. So reach out, girl. The trust bank. It may help to think of trust in the relationship the way you would think of a bank account. We are each responsible for our own account. Each thoughtful act, each personal communication, each time we keep our word and follow through on our commitments is a deposit into the account. Likewise, each broken promise, hurtful comment, lie, or misrepresentation is a withdrawal. Your loved one may have been making small deposits over the years, but with addiction, the withdrawals become larger and larger, and your loved one's account may now be overdrawn. At this point, the trust is lost completely, but not necessarily forever. Over time, with many deposits and few or no withdrawals, a positive balance can be restored.
one way to look at it.
Since we are
That would
each
be my analogy.
Since we are each responsible for our own account, it is not possible for a family friend to make deposits into the loved one's account. That is the loved one's job. Only your loved one can add to the account or subtract from it. If your loved one chooses to work on rebuilding his trust account, it will take a long time, often years, to restore a healthy balance, just as it would to recover from any bankruptcy. And
A lot of checks and balances.
yeah. But it's possible, and you just need to do what you need to do and keep it going. And
Smart Recovery does a lot of these type comparisons and analogies. So that's and more than anything, it's just to help you remember
right.
about it. There, I mean, it makes it different. So it's not as redundant as everything else you heard, and you tend to remember it more.
Yeah. So keep plugging forward. Trust building. So here's some activities you can play around with. Rebuilding trust is an area where good, positive communication on an ongoing basis is required. Your loved one cannot read your mind and will not know what you need to feel confident in trusting again. Unless you communicate that, the more specific you can be, the better. Remember to acknowledge your loved one's deposits into the trust account. Reinforce the behaviors, truthfulness, integrity, reliability that you want to see more of in your relationship. And you can write down, use the space below to list some ways that your loved one can make deposits into the trust bank. Think about what you need from your loved one in order for you to be able to begin trusting again. Use that space below and record your thoughts. And that is something that, just learning this and seeing how they do the exercises and seeing it in black and white can really help you move forward and gain, your strength and help you move forward. So this is the family side of it. Think of it on your side. What are you doing to make the family not trust you? Write it down and see what you can do to change that situation so they're not judging you or throwing your past in your face. Because that's the biggest problem, is the past just doesn't seem to go away. They just keep bringing it up and keep pushing it in your face. And
that's why women make the best archaeologists, they say. They're best at digging up the past.
better watch it. 33 years might end today. No, but that is, remember, this is the family side of it, family, friends. I am going to purchase the book on the loved one's side so that I can read it and we can go over that as well. And, feel free. I'm not in recovery. I am in tobacco recovery.
You've
Yes.
seen the commercials now?
Yes.
Yes.
I'm
Tobacco
in tobacco
recovery is
recovery
recovery.
too.
Anybody seen these commercials yet? Who comes up with this?
Exactly.
I am in. Oh, no. A wild man out here.
Oh, you got your hammer, huh? I see it. So,
My grandson is out here without any clothes but a diaper on. He's like
yes.
nature boy.
Yes. So he may get a little vocal because he is a very vocal child.
Goodness.
So
Apparently his mother threw him out of the house and sent him out here with his father.
So acceptance and forgiveness. Throughout this handbook, we have presented tools for managing extreme emotions that may interfere with our ability to function well in our lives. Acceptance, another powerful tool for improving our ability to function and be happy, is the one of acceptance. Often we stay stuck in our emotional upsets because we do not know how to resolve the gap between our expectations and what is actually happening. We may have an expectation that our child will grow up to lead a happy and productive life, and when that doesn't happen, the gap between our expectations and the reality of our child's choices is difficult for us to resolve. We may have an expectation that our spouse will be loving and supportive partner, only to be dismayed by the reality that addiction makes that difficult or impossible. We stay stuck waiting for something to change to resolve the situation.
Yeah, and you know what? We can remain stuck for years and years and years. Next thing you know, 30 years goes by because nothing changes if nothing changes. I mean, we just go along with the same cycle, and it just repeats itself over and over. So that's why it's important to be the one to make the change. Nobody can make a change in your life but you. I mean, you can make that change to break that cycle. Always remember that.
Mm-hmm. It seems paradoxical
That's a big word.
paradoxical, but acceptance of what is
Paradoxical.
paradoxical
That's good though. Close.
by acceptance of what is a
Prerequisite.
prerequisite for change. Acceptance should not be confused with approval. It does not imply liking the situation or being willing to continue allowing it to be part of your life. It does mean accepting the reality of the situation of the other person's behavior, no matter how objectionable. Once you have accepted the reality of the situation, you are in a much better position to deal with it effectively, creatively, positively, and in a way that best benefits you.
You drink it tonight.
Telling you. I'm dry. Forgiveness. The importance of forgiveness. What happens when we cannot let go of anger and resentment? We may spend countless hours reliving past events and harboring grudges. We may hold on to feelings of blame where we blame our loved one.
Thanks, buddy.
We blame our loved one for our upset
Such professionalism
feelings.
on this show, isn't it?
These thoughts keep us trapped in the role of the victim as we continue to focus on how our loved one has hurt us. Since our emotional energy is focused on the past, we remain powerless to move forward. Over time, the failure to achieve resolution of our anger and resentment takes a physical and emotional toll. Continually thinking about past events can lead to self-defeating behaviors. Angry outbursts, retaliation, addiction, avoidance, and high levels of emotional arousal that can ultimately contribute to serious medical problems. Examples, heart disease. Learning to accept, to forgive, and to let go of past hurts is not easy, but neither is living your life stuck in anger and resentment. And that is so true. You cannot move forward when you're holding on to such anger and such resentment.
And it does take a toll on your health.
It does.
Really does. I mean, it may not be immediately, apparent, but it does down the road, because, like you said, hypertension and whatever.
Yes.
Acid reflux, an ulcer. I don't know. You gotta let go of it and
it will take
work through it.
It'll take a toll on you, your eating habits, your hair falling out. Like the stress of this all just has such a hard effect on the body.
Sure, and most addicts, they feel they're not hurting anybody but themselves. Mm-hmm. I mean, they don't realize the ramifications of addiction on the whole family. Mm-hmm. It's a family disease. It really is.
Mm-hmm. And here is exploring the option of forgiveness. If you are holding on to past hurts or anger, consider forgiveness as a way to move forward. Forgiveness is not a quick fix. It's a matter of willed change in our thinking about our own demands that others treat us in a certain way or else. Think about an incident that has left you feeling angry or hurt and that you have had trouble letting go. How does my anger benefit me? And these are things you can write down. And think about it and go over it in your head and look at their part on it too and see what, where their head may be. What are some reasons to keep being angry? How much time and effort does it take to keep the anger going, and does it help me? How does my anger hurt me? What might happen to my anger if I could stop having thoughts of how to correct the unfairness or even of how to just get my loved one to apologize? If I decide to make a direct and conscious decision to forgive, what benefits might I gain? Is it possible that with less anger I would sleep better, eat better, have improved relationships with family, do better at work or school? Absolutely. What are some reasons to let go of anger? Forgiveness helps you most on from Forgiveness helps you move on from the past, live for today, and build your future. So I hope that helps. Use your own questions and use your own, ways to work it out. But writing it in black and white is so helpful when, you're really struggling with something that they said or did, and finding a way to get past it. And writing it out can be so helpful with that. So forgiveness is a process, the process of forgiving. Like other types of behavior change, the act of forgiving is a process and not an event. It starts with a conscious choice, followed by intentional action to change your thinking about your loved one and their actions. Decide if forgiving is in your best interest. What outcome can you expect for yourself if you continue to focus on a past hurtful events and your feelings of anger and resentment? Consider your answer to the question and the questions in the exercise exploring the option of forgiveness in this section to decide if you would like to entertain the idea of forgiveness as a strategy to improve your life. And you know what? I've seen so many people do that they don't necessarily allow the consequences from their boundaries. But they know that right at that moment, it's not something they can change. So they allow it to go on and continue to set different boundaries, knowing that the loved one is still, trying their best to get better. And just being able to point out those good qualities is a helpful tool to move them towards that recovery process. That doesn't mean you have to accept it. It's just you don't necessarily want to sit in that anger and resentment and let it burn and cause health problems.
And it's hard to do. It's not an easy process.
No.
I mean, it's easy to read it and say this to you, but you realize that it's a difficult decision, and it's hard to let go sometimes. I mean, 'cause we're hurt.
Yes.
I mean, we're hurt, and it's hard to push through. And I hate to say be the bigger person. It's way beyond that. It's
Yeah.
but it's just some food for thought. It's something we have to do, no matter how much we're hurt by it. And
So because
That's that.
because anger can quickly become toxic, it may be helpful to remember that no one likes being with an angry, bitter, or depressed person. Hanging on to past hurts not only interferes with your ability to be happy, it also gets in the way of your other relationships, and it does. It can affect every aspect of your life. It can affect your coworkers. It can affect other family members. It can affect friends that you're around. So I highly suggest trying to get past that. And my youngest sister.
You come into work mad at the world. I mean, not mad at anybody there, but it does. It carries over.
Yeah.
It affects your everyday life.
And that's what my youngest sister always says, like, let go of the resentment. It's like, it's not doing anything good for you. It's just making it very hard for me to move on. And, that is the one thing that one good thing that came out of learning all of this is how to let go of past resentments and moving on to better myself, to make myself feel a little stronger. And I'm not going to say that I don't fall back into that, because not every day is rainbows and sunshine,
Rainbows
So-
and unicorns.
yeah. So, we can fall back, but we also have gotten the tools on how to get back on track. So, define forgiveness. One reason people sometimes have difficulty with forgiveness may have to do with how they define it. Forgiveness is not the same as trust. Many people link forgiving and with forgetting and think that forgetting is required in order to forgive. Oh, that's a mouthful.
Whew.
But this is not the case.
It's a very interesting line there, though.
Yes.
Forgiveness is not the same as trust.
Yes. We need to remember what happened so that we can protect ourselves against future hurts. We can forgive the person, but we would do well to not forget the behavior. Example, we might forgive someone for stealing, but we would be wise to lock up our valuables the next time they were around. We can forgive the person and accept the past behavior for the reality that it is, but because we don't forget, we learn that until they show us otherwise through consistent action, we would be wise not to trust others in matters where they have failed to be trustworthy. Forgiveness is not about giving up your choice to work to make things better. Instead, forgiving requires giving up the wish to have had a different past and taking action to improve our life and our overall happiness in the present and in the future. Forgiveness is the act of letting go of anger and resentment. When we let go, we are able to think about past events without feeling the physical manifestations of anger and without feeling compelled to resort to unhealthy coping mechanisms like drinking, drugging, or disordered eating. When we let go, the past event becomes just one event in our life and no longer defines who we are.
Okay, I gotta hold the phone a second. What is disordered eating? I've never heard that term before.
That would be an eating disorder.
Right. Exactly. It just seems weird to say.
Yes. Forgiveness is an act
I'm a
of
disordered eater. I'll put that out there right now.
Forgiveness is an act of understanding that none of us is perfect and that we all have done things that we later regretted. Oh, he's playing the guitars now. So work to understand why others act as they do. Develop new ways of thinking about your loved one. Work on seeing his point of view. Recognize that his actions made perfect sense to him at the time, given what was going on in his life. Let go and move on. Forgiving is hard work. Although your anger might seem justified at some point, you have to ask yourself, what kind of person am I? And what is my anger doing today? Are you a person who wants to remain a bitter, angry victim? Do you want to continue spending your time thinking about how you were hurt and how unfair it was? Take a good look at your anger. Accept that what has happened in the past cannot be changed, and that remaining angry is hurting you more than anyone else. And that is true. The person that hurt you may not even think twice about what they did or why they did it or how they did it. They've already moved on. and you're sitting there holding on to that anger and resentment, and it's just eating you up inside. And that's why it's so important that you get to support groups, that you get therapy, so that you can unload all of that resentment and
Definitely.
anger.
It gives you a place to release your anger without being judged on what you're angry about. You know what I mean? That's why support groups are so important. You know, parent groups, this, that, whatever type of group, because you can't release that anger to someone that doesn't understand your pain. It's futile. They do looking at you like, I don't know what you're talking about. Why are you so upset? And it's things you probably haven't shared with other people. You know what I mean? Your neighbor, your girlfriend at work. I mean, it's great to be in a room of your peers that have experienced the same situations and understand what you've been through without judging you.
Right.
But we really, I mean, we push support groups as much for families of those with a substance use disorder as much as we do to the person with a substance use disorder. It's very important. I just can't stress it enough. Just to get that load off your chest. I mean, such relief.
So forgiveness means letting go of a hurtful situation and moving on with your own happiness. That is by Amanda Ford. So start small. If forgiveness as a strategy seems interesting but does not feel natural to you, you may want to begin by experimenting with practicing forgiveness in your daily life. For example, consider applying an attitude of forgiveness to those frustrating situations involving fellow drivers.
Oh, I knew that was coming. Never happened with my
Alley
wife.
commute.
It will never happen.
I
She's very unforgivable behind the wheel. Just put it out there, people.
Or to fellow shoppers and fellow co-workers who behave in less than considerate ways. Work on recognizing that they had reasons that made their actions seem appropriate to them.
Yeah, they got reasons.
As you become more comfortable with practicing forgiveness, allow yourself to extend the practice to include more personal situations. And for final thoughts, forgiveness means changing your mental, emotional, and behavior reactions. When you forgive, you think in different, better ways about the life of the person who offended and angered you. You think about the forces that led that person to behave badly. Over time, you begin to feel less anger when the problem comes into your consciousness. And you might even act to help that person who offended you in some way. We hope you all consider forgiveness as a way of reducing your anger. Taffery.
You don't have to give everybody credit for what they did.
So,
I can't even pronounce that name.
this is
Tafrit and Kazanov.
This is from Anger
Thanks,
Management for Everyone. When I am able to forgive myself, which is not always easy, I am kinder to everyone, including myself. Sylvia Borstein. So that was chapter 12.
Chapter 12 is for the...
Yes.
So it wasn't right through the book. We only have two more chapters.
Well, and really, there's really nothing. I think we just came to the end. I think this is just SMART goals. Research indicates that the simple act of setting goals improves our experience and our performance. It also shows that we are happier when we are progressing towards our goals. Setting goals helps us focus on what we want. When setting goal, it can help to remember the acronym SMART. SMART stands for specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, timed. So it just gives a description of SMART and what the SMART stand for. It gives you study goals, short-term goal setting. So these are things that you just have to really that we've discussed over this last thing, just exercises in the back, which we really can't do because you're there, we're here. So we'll have to all get together at a diner somewhere and do some homework, I guess. But, you know, we're here. If you like something there, I hope something there helped you, Barb. Because, you know, it's hard when you're dealing with family members that are just not getting the education and the support that they need to understand where you're at and how you need to or want to move forward. So, try very hard to forgive what's going on around you.
And that's very common. I mean, that the family doesn't get the training or whatever, the knowledge of addiction all that, because they feel like that's not my problem, that's your problem, you know?
Right.
And it's common. I mean, don't hold it against them. That's everybody's first reflex.
Right.
You know, we don't have a problem. We're fine with our drinking, you know.
And I don't even know what the numbers are today. I forget what it was. Like 1 in every 3 families are affected in some way from somebody struggling with addiction, whether it's a family member, whether it's a friend, whether it's a coworker. Like, the numbers are just unbelievable how many people are affected by this.
And a very good friend therapist of ours once said, you know, every family is affected by addiction in some way or another. You shake that family tree hard enough, you'd be shocked what comes out of it. You know what I mean? So,
Right. And
addiction is very, very common
right.
in mankind. For lack of a better term, I mean, but it's up to you how you address it. You can't count on somebody else doing the work for you.
Right.
And they can support you, give you ideas, direct you, but nobody can make you embrace your recovery but you.
Exactly.
And until you decide to embrace it and make it your focal point, I mean, like your desire, you know, it's only when you're going to conquer this monster, whatever you want to call it. I mean, you got to take it serious and embrace it and want it more than anything. And anything you put between you and your sobriety is something you're probably going to end up losing.
Right.
You got to focus on your sobriety, you know, and getting yourself well, and stop worrying about everybody else and what everybody else thinks and this or that.
And that's what they say.
That'll all fall into place.
Yeah, that's what they say. Stay in your own lane. Like you can only take care of yourself. You can't make anybody, you know, think the way you think, do the things you do, you know.
And like we're saying, it working both ways. I mean, it's being, you know, the loved one of someone with an addiction, or someone with an addiction and their loved ones. It works both ways.
It really is hand in hand. It really, truly is. And, you know, we just have to, I was saying, like 1 in every 3 homes are affected by this. But in a family support situation, you'll only see one of those households come out to help their loved one. They all stand behind that curtain and look out like, you know, I don't want anybody to know. I don't want anybody to look down on me or, you know, think worse of me or my loved one because there's an addiction
Right, and sometimes we have a
situation.
tendency to get a little self-righteous. I don't know, how dare they? I mean, like, you gotta put yourself in their shoes. You know what I mean? And don't be so fragile.
Right.
And toughen up, move forward, and just embrace your recovery.
I mean, I remember.
That's what I could come up with. I always think of Larry, you know, and I hate to bring Larry up all the time, but Larry doesn't mind. He knows it's for the better. You know, and like Larry wasn't successful in his recovery until he finally embraced it, and that's what he truly wanted more than anything. And he'll be the first to tell you that he didn't take it serious at first. He did it for all the wrong reasons for everyone else but himself, and he failed miserably at it.
Yep.
It wasn't until he really took a deep look at himself and decided to really embrace his recovery. And Larry still embraces his recovery.
Yes.
And he's been, in recovery, clean and sober now for over, 7 years? Mm-hmm. I think, what did he just celebrate? And he still takes it seriously. He goes to his meetings, does his thing, and tries to help other people along the way at every moment he can.
Yes.
And even in doing that, it's helping him because now he's saying, look, I'm able to help other people now. When there was a point in my life I couldn't help myself.
And it's funny because when we went from COVID to just starting to come back into meetings, we started meeting one Saturday a month, and like I'm like, why is Larry here? Like, he's in recovery. This is a family group. Like, why is Fred here? This is a family. Like, they're both in. But let me tell you how helpful it is to them, but also to us for hearing their story.
Yeah, to hear their side of the story. And it's a real eye-opening experience.
And what they went through, and then to hear what we went through, because they will look at it as like, this is my disease, this is my illness, this is my addiction. The only one I'm hurting is me. I'm not hurting anyone else. When they come and they sit through a family meeting, they realize, wow, I did do that to my family. This is what my family went through. This is, how my family was reacting.
Yeah, it's definitely a great learning experience for both sides. I mean, and that's the sad part is a lot of time all meetings are pretty segregated. All meetings are.
Right.
I mean, there's very few where things are mixed in like this. And it's healthy. It's small doses, you know what I mean? You all want your time with your peers in this. But I think it's great that on occasion there should be an opportunity like this, like a parent group or whatever, where both parties can meet, on the same grounds and tell their story and describe their journey, so everyone can get a taste of what it's like.
And you look at, and a lot of families are affected with the PTSD, and people are like, what? It was their husband, it was their wife, it was their son, their daughter, their friend. Like, what do you mean? But
that's becoming a term that's way overused, in my opinion. It's a very serious condition, and I think that people overuse it, and it's making light of it in a sense.
Well, I look at it as, a family member that comes in and sees their loved one overdosing and have to bring them back to life. And with this disease, so many family members, so many brothers, so many sisters, so many fathers.
That's a tough one to bounce back from.
Are the one that are walking in and seeing their loved one blue and having to call 911 and revive their loved one, or not be able to revive their loved one. I mean, this is what we're seeing. This is what we're watching our loved one make really bad decisions, and
And just think, once in your life experiencing something like that with a loved one is a horrible, horrible event that can really cause you a lot of mental trauma. But I just seen it happen several times when you see your loved one on the brink of death. Mm-hmm. I mean, Gloria says, my God, how much can you absorb?
Yeah.
And, man, it's like you end up getting numb to it in a sense and have your own altered sense of reality. Like, I don't care anymore. You do care. But you just become so numb to it. Mm-hmm. You try to compensate for it in your mind because you're just losing your shit over it.
Right.
So you just say things you really don't mean just to kind of
And then you say,
make a sense of it.
right, and you set your boundary like, I'm sorry, but you can no longer live here. We've given you the choice to live here, sober and clean, and you've chosen not to. Hi, I see it. And then, they choose to leave the home, and now, they're done. They're done. Yeah. They're done couch jumping. They're done, living in with friends and all, and then you're out looking for them, and you're seeing what the streets look like, and you're seeing your loved one there at the worst possible life, dipped out.
It's very upsetting. It's very upsetting.
And to see that, families
stop playing
are
with that.
affected by that.
Yo, stop turning knobs.
That families are affected, and PTSD comes into that, and it's not something that we're gonna forget about easily. We're going to have to find some way to get past that. And we have a popular caller.
I know once I spoke his name, he would embellish. Hello, caller.
Hello, could you inflate my ego a little bit more, please? I mean, Jesus Christ,
And he doesn't even believe in Christ.
For Larry to get religious, it means
yeah, more sarcastic. So I just want to thank you for the compliments, but what I want to talk about was like relapse and worried about what other people think. It's not what other people think. It's that, it's your recovery. No matter how much, if it's 60 days or 60 months or 60 years, it doesn't matter. There's always going to be a little bit of suspicion. And for me, it was, the first time, okay, I screwed it up. I did nothing. But the second time around, I worked at it. But the thing is, family, friends, anybody who knows you, they're going to have their doubts. It's going to take a long, long time if it takes, if they ever believe it at all that, I was working a program that, I needed to change my life. I'm telling that certain person out there, don't worry about other people, what they think, because you're not going to get 100%, pat on the back, boy, what a great job you're doing. There's always going to be suspicion. And even me, I not quite 7 years yet, but 6 years and 8 months and a couple of weeks or something like that. And, people are happy for me and all, but, even now, they keep waiting for that shoe to drop because they've seen it happen before. And, I wouldn't worry about it. It's nice if people like me and all, and they love me and all that other stuff again, but I have to keep working that program and keep proving to them, that, even though it's been 6+ years, I still have to prove it to them over and over again. Mm-hmm. Certain situations, might pop up where the temptation might be there. They might worry is Larry going to bend here? Is he going to break? Is he going to have a drink? And I keep surrounding myself with people who know my condition.
Right.
And that was the best part. That was the best part, especially the beginning. I let everybody know what my problem was. So there was nothing to hide, nobody shocked, and and if something came up when I looked a little, unsure, they would look at me. They would wonder, oh, what's going to happen? Should I say something? Should I not say something? Mm-hmm. And I appreciated that because I knew, they were looking after me while I was trying to look after myself. So, don't let outside influences, even people when I was a couple of years, in recovery, and they were laying bets that I wouldn't laugh, and I can't blame them. Can't blame them at all. I mean, I failed once, and just because I was sober a couple of years doesn't mean, I'm okay now. I kept waiting and waiting, but as long as I keep proving them wrong, I'm a happy person. And Mrs. Olson is too old, isn't she?
Mrs. Olson. What next? The Tiny Ball Man? Where are we going with these?
Mrs. Olson. Well, he did that coffee thing, and
Yeah.
It's the only thing I could think of real fast. It's like, oh, Mrs. Olson.
If
And
I
I'm
was
going
talking,
like,
if I was talking toilet paper, where would your mind go?
no, a
Don't
whole lot of
Mr.
crap.
squeeze, Mister.
Mr. Whiffle.
Don't squeeze
yes.
the Charmin.
Squeeze the Charmin, yeah. Yeah.
Yes, I,
So I'm going to go. I just want to tell that certain person that this is your recovery. You have to work for it. You can't worry about outside influences.
exactly.
Yep, exactly.
Great
Yeah.
advice.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, Larry,
All right, let me get out of here.
I thank you
And
as always
everybody
for
have a good
chiming
night.
in. Thank you.
Thank you, Larry.
I hope you don't
Okay,
mind
see
me
ya.
using you as an example, but you're like the best.
Oh, I don't
example
care.
can
Use
come
me.
up with.
Use,
It feels
use
good.
you and abuse you.
Yeah. I'll bring the handcuffs next time. Okay. Good.
All right, Larry.
See ya.
Thank you. Good night. That's a good friend of the show, Larry.
Larry.
Larry's on from time to time.
Yep.
And he's just a great guy. He's a great guy to talk to about recovery.
Yeah.
I mean, he really is. He's very truthful. I don't think it'll be hard to find somebody more truthful about recovery than Larry.
Exactly.
He says it like it
strong.
is. I mean, he doesn't sugarcoat things. He don't blow smoke up your ass. He tells you exactly what it's all about.
Yes.
Sometimes, we need that. Mm-hmm. I mean, that people, don't need to be told what they want to hear all the time. I mean, it's a serious disease, and it is a disease, and like it's not good to sugarcoat it all the time.
No.
Sometimes to tell people about it, it's like telling somebody, you got cancer, but it's not a bad cancer, but it could kill you. But like, it's a disease, and it should be treated as such.
We have 15 minutes left,
15 minutes, folks.
If anybody is struggling or needs to talk or needs to hear anything, please reach out. That's
Sure.
what we're here
and
for.
the number's up on the screen there. You'll see under Living Hopeful. It's at 267-737-8031. You can call after the show if you like. Lori, you always got her phone on.
Yes.
And this is a direct hotline. This is just for this situation. There
And
comes
we
a
have
caller.
a caller.
Yeah, don't overthink your burden. I mean, we appreciate the phone calls. Hello, caller. How can we help you?
Hey, how's it going?
It's sexy voice Brian.
Wow, Lori loves this man's voice.
Yes, we all do.
How many dogs did you save tonight?
Just one.
Just one.
One's good. One's good.
One is good.
We kind of talk about it. I'm in air freight. I see a lot of dogs come in from Puerto Rico down American Airlines. They apparently have an island out there in Puerto Rico of stray dogs. You ever heard of that? Like people
No, but it doesn't surprise me.
people like just dump them there, and they come in 20, 30 at a time. But go ahead. What brings you on the air?
Stress?
Stress. Oh no. What's up? What can we help you with?
So you guys hit it like on the head like a couple times, where even like doesn't matter how much recovery you have, where everything's not always in clouds and still a starfish or whatever you want to call it. My
Ring.
girlfriend took me the hell out. Like,
She what?
she had a rough day, and like I had a rough day, and like she didn't even ask like how my day was, and
Right.
like it's just like I understand like she had a rough day, but like I don't know. And I know she's not that type of person, like that really like the emotional type. So I know I can't change her. And
Right.
It's been like almost 7 years now, so I don't know why I think I can. But like still like part of me is like that glimmer of hope, like that's like, hey, maybe she'll like do this or do that, and just there. And like she has her moments like where she's really thoughtful, and then like but most of them are like I don't know.
Now, is she in recovery herself?
Yeah.
Okay. So, does she stay strong in her recovery?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we're both the same way. Like, we're not going back. I mean, we worked our butts off too much. Like, her story just amazes me. Like I don't. Honestly, like the women in recovery, like have had it like way worse than I think I ever would. And just dealing with people like me and worse when they were out there, it's just like women are so much stronger than men. And I hate to say that, but it's the truth. And like, I don't know. I just have much more respect for women in recovery than I do men. And like Fred was saying before about like people like, oh, that's so good. But like after a while, it's like, you know, like that's the person I'm supposed to be. I'm not supposed to be like this. Or like, I don't know, like they pat you on the back, and then after a while, it's like, okay, it's not about me. It's about like this is the person I'm supposed to be. You know?
Right. Right.
But yeah, it's just.
And,
Today just pissed me off so much. It's like it's been a long week. It's been a very long week, and trying to get stuff done, and not enough time in the day, and then the way that I don't budget my time or manage my time correctly, and just like all of a sudden all these things you have to do, and you don't have enough time, and then you put your work in to get something done. Like I could have. You do it, and then like all of a sudden plans change, and that's no longer happening. And it's like, well, why the hell did I put that much time into it? I could have been doing this.
right.
It's just
And
You know, there's a saying about shoulda, don't.
yeah.
But I mean, it's also knowing the things that we have control over, and like somebody else's actions, like where I think everything's lined up to a T,
Right.
and then like not at all, and then shit just hit the fan today with like a couple things that I was
Right.
like
Right.
part of, and it's just like, what happened? Like,
Right.
oh.
And you work out of town, don't you? Or do you not travel anymore?
In town, out of town. Like,
Yeah.
so I'm a sales merchandiser. I'm in charge of 117 stores for my product, and it takes like I was out of town 2 days, but I always come home.
Right.
Like it's that kind of job, like where I'm out of town.
Mm-hmm.
I just go visit places and come home, but it's just like
Yeah.
I don't know.
Stress can eat away at us.
But like we were
and-
saying,
Yeah.
that I should have done this, I should have done that. Make sure you don't shit all over yourself.
Yeah.
That's what we used to always
Coulda,
say.
shoulda, woulda.
You
Don't
know,
shoot all over yourself.
Yeah, don't eat Little Debbie ice cream cake. Oatmeal ice cream. That's what I learned last night.
Yeah.
The Bluebell one is good, but the Little Debbie one, not so much.
Not exactly. So expectations can hurt. Yes,
Yeah.
it's heavy. Yes, expectations are very difficult for us because we set ourselves up all the time. We are constantly setting ourselves up for failure because life sucks. You know, life doesn't say, "Oh, we need to do this, that, and the other thing for them," because that's what they need to get done.
Yeah.
It's
Especially all through recovery, you're told to put yourself first. You know what I mean? Your recovery first, and also, it's kind of hard to differentiate that in a relationship in everyday life. Sometimes, you know, because we're focusing
Good
more on
luck doing
ourselves,
that in a relationship.
right, than the other person. So it's like it's so counterintuitive to everything else. But it's just, you know, something you'll push through. You'll work it out. You both understand each other. He's both understanding of each other's trials and tribulations, and that's frustrating. Life is frustrating. I mean, you try to do everything the best you can and do what's right, and then it doesn't work out. It's frustrating. You know what I mean? Like, I try to be the best at this, you know, but I don't know what to tell you, my friend. It's just part of life, and don't beat yourself up over it. I mean,
right. And you know
go
what?
out and get ice cream together or something and
Yes.
push through it.
And you know what? It'll work out. It's just not going to work out the way you expect it to.
Definitely not. Why would it? That would be too easy.
And where and when you expect it. That's the problem.
Yeah.
Like Eric says here, expectations can hurt.
Yes.
I mean, that's so true, Eric.
And we set ourselves up for failure all the time. I expect, things. I'm not vocal about what I expect being taken care of. And it eats away at you because I'm not vocal about it, and then it just keeps building up until not only is it my expectation, but now I'm screaming like a banshee because nobody can read my mind.
If everything was going great for me at all times, I'd be scared shitless. What's going to happen? Something's got to happen.
Yeah. It's like way too good.
I gotta have my apple cart tipped once in a while. I mean,
Right.
I would think I was living in an altered universe or something.
Yes.
I'm not to feel about that.
Right.
I mean, like, at the same time, if I know that I can't explode because she'll shut down.
Right.
You know, and it's like, I just gotta take the punches until she realizes it. And like sometimes it comes around and she's like,
Yeah.
"Hey, I'm sorry.
Shh.
It's been a long day at work, long week, long month, long quarter.
Uh-huh.
Like, I'm sorry I didn't recognize something like that." Like, I think with like we realize like what we can and can't do, and like I know that I can't come back at her because it will hurt her more than it hurts me.
Right.
Like not, if I keep quiet, it will hurt me, but instead of going off on her,
Right.
because it will hurt and her she'll shut down, and then that hurts me.
Right.
Unfortunately, we take it out on each other all the time because you can't take it out on your customers and she can't take it out on her coworkers. So who's left? Take it out on each other because you know it just wouldn't float. You couldn't do it, and that's the sad part of it, Darren. Yeah, sometimes it helps just to have a healthy conversation about it at a good point. Where you're sitting down doing something.
Right.
Just get it out there. You don't have to be specific. But say, I'm really sorry. I'm under a lot of pressure sometimes, and I just feel bad. I don't want you to think I'm taking it out on you. I don't have nobody to take it out on sometimes, and it just comes out by accident.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like the ones that we hurt the most are the ones that we love.
Sure. And it's always
Exactly.
that way. It really is.
So,
Yes.
so like they're gonna be there no matter what, and then it's like to the point like when, like what's their breaking point? You know?
Right.
Right.
And being in your conditions, it's kind of hypersensitized too. You know what I mean? It's even more so. I mean,
Yeah.
it's normal. It really is.
Yeah.
It's normal, and you're aware of it, obviously.
Right.
So, I
Like
think
you said, you have to have that place where you can go to talk about it.
yeah,
'Cause
like
if you
like
don't-
neutral territory, a good place. Always have fun.
Yeah.
Not apart. Just bring it up in the conversation. You got a park you guys like to go to, feed the ducks. You know what I mean?
Yes, Daddy.
Just a neutral place.
Yeah.
Just bring it to the conversation.
Here he comes.
Because both of you are keeping it in.
Right.
And
Yeah.
it's just going to get worse and fester and become more. If you just come out and say it, it's off both your chests and it's easier to push through it.
Mm-hmm.
It really is. I said it's holding it in, trying to protect each other all the time,
Right.
which we all do.
Yeah.
And I call it
human nature.
and I call it the box, like the boxing. Take your corners. Sit and think
Yeah.
about where you're at that moment. Let her do what she needs to do at that moment, and then come back together. When you distress, decompress, and call Pappy and scream.
Well, write so every like the end of the month is like the most stressful at her job because everybody's trying to get stuff done
Right.
before the end of the month for incentives and for cases and everything like that.
Especially the end of the month. This is the most stressful time in business, is the end of the month.
That's what he's saying.
Yeah,
is-
you always get that last minute calls and the complaining customer and this and that. People want you to like do the impossible for them. You know, I know it's very stressful.
Yeah.
Her client, so she works for a law firm, and some of her clients just don't communicate, or things change last minute, or they're not going to treatment. Like, if you have a lawyer and you're supposed to be going to treatment, go to treatment so you can get more money. 'Cause
Right.
going to treatment is how you make your money,
Right.
because it shows that you have an injury. So some of her clients like don't want to go to treatment. So it's like, well, how the hell am I supposed to get you money? Like, work on your case
Right.
if
Right.
you're not going to go to treatment. Like, so everybody has certain incentives, and I
Right.
think this is into the quarter, so
Time,
it's just
yeah.
been more so like amped up. And then
Right.
I have holiday coming out, so it's just like this is football season is my busy season. So it's just like, and then we have fresh fruit coming in like next month. So all these plans are getting finalized, and it's just like,
Yeah. And you just need to find that time where the work has to like stay at the front door.
Yeah. You
Yeah.
gotta put everything on the
that
back burner for a
that
couple
work-life
hours.
balance.
Yes,
Even if it's just a couple hours, just put everything on the back burner and just decompress
right.
and
Just
do something we enjoy and not have to worry about the freaking customers or this and that.
Mm-hmm.
Or just focus on us for a little bit. I mean, just something simple.
we
I
do.
mean, that's all it takes. Just something, just to click your mind off of it, so you're not fixated on everything they got.
Mm-hmm.
You know, at certain places, it just takes your mind, takes you back. You ever notice, like, you hear a certain song or you go to a certain place, it just takes your mind off everything. You just feel so at ease, even if it's for an hour. You know, you're in a place, and it just things like that. You just got to focus on each other instead of trying to appease the whole world. I mean, just
Now, do you
appease
jog?
each other.
Do I jog?
I thought about exercising this morning. I laid down to the thought pass. Okay.
But
I have to go. They want to do a stress test on me or EKG, and they want me to jog for a half hour and like have incline parts. I'm like, look, I don't do drugs or drink anymore. I don't have to run anymore. I'm like, you can do whatever other test you want to do, but I'll die before I finish a half hour of running.
Man, me
So
just
it's
thinking
not
about a half
happening.
hour would put my
Yes.
charts off. The
Yeah.
cuff would blow up on my arm.
yeah, they gave me the nuclear test, which was not
Yeah,
fun.
that's what I have to do.
Yeah, it's fine. It's really it's
Repeat the song.
it's so easy. You got
Yeah.
it.
It's not running for a half hour, so anything else.
Give me the treadmill, but they say I'm always too dizzy for that, so they give me the
I'll
nuclear
fall.
instead.
I get that white coat syndrome. I walk in there. I'm not afraid of doctors or anything, but usually I got to pass the physical for my commercial license. And so of course my blood pressure elevates because I'm like, oh Christ, I know it's going to be too high. I know it's too high. It's going to be too high. And I'm like, oh, sorry. But just sit down for a couple of minutes and relax.
Because
So I try to go to my
I-
happy place.
he worries about worrying, so he worries about
He's not the
everything
only one.
around him. So
I worry
I
about
just-
everything.
his mind
I
never
just try
stops.
to focus. I just try to focus on like a stationary object while they're doing like any kind of test. I'm like, let me just focus on that spot right there on the ground, right there. And I'll just like concentrate,
Yeah.
relax, and
Yeah.
like push my blood pressure down. Because if I think about work or if I'm in a new place or like they're worried about my heart, so I have a heart monitor. So they're worried, like not the heart's not. It's okay if the heart skips a beat, but it's bad if it holds hands and skips the beat of like more than a couple times in a row.
Right.
So that's why they have the nuclear test done. So it's just all
Right.
these things, like all the use and abuse is I'm finally being honest with the doctor, and it's like, why am I being honest with the doctor?
Because you know there's shit going on and you have to.
Yeah, I know, but sometimes I'm like, yeah, shouldn't have told him that because now I gotta do this and this and this.
Right. I know.
Do this.
I know.
We
It's
abuse
rough.
our bodies for years and years and years, and it comes back to haunt us from time
Yeah.
to time. You know, it takes its toll.
Look at me. I gave birth to 10 and you know, it's killing me, you
You
know.
gave birth to 10?
Yes, look at that belly.
Good Lord.
That's my
What the world?
I gave birth to 1.
I was going to say, there's nothing else to do in Pennsylvania. Good
No.
Lord.
I just have the body that I gave 10.
I have the body that I gave birth, so I mean, I really can't say much. Look at my stomach and my boobs.
But you guys have to just find that, you know, before you get home, that, you know, that one, let's leave it at the door and then we'll come back to it, you know.
Have you ever, do you drive home? Like,
Well, driving kind of gets me.
Driving doesn't relax my wife in the least. So, I mean,
it's like you see more and more stuff every day. It's like, oh my God, I can't believe they did that. And
Right.
it actually works.
Right,
Like, what an idiot.
right.
But,
So just,
it's
I mean, and we have to take that time for ourselves. That's the most
Yeah.
important thing that we neglect is ourselves.
yeah.
And
No, we need to go back to the beach. Like, we live, like, no joke, like less than 10 minutes from the beach. So it's just going to the beach. Like, now that it's actually not 90 to 100 degrees every day, like, we can actually maybe even go there and look. Like, we used to go there and collect shark teeth. but it's
shark
been a
teeth,
minute.
pack a couple sandwiches, and just do something simple. I mean, something that's not stressful. No jogging on the beach, okay? Just get
just a
on
nice stroll with the dogs.
there. Big hokey
I
picnic.
can't
lunch.
jog.
Just a
What,
nice.
what else am I going to do with my life if I can't jog?
Just walk the dogs on the beach. And just, you know, we just have to learn how to take time for ourselves. And
No.
that's where we neglect. That's where we neglect things.
We're getting a warning.
Yes.
We're running over.
No. I'm going to hang up on them. I'll call you back, Bob.
My bad.
But yeah, just you know, take that time.
Take some time out for each other.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Out of your busy lifestyles. I mean, it doesn't have to be a lot of time, but just it's unbelievable how nice it feels just to just let all the stress of the world, all the bullshit, just go, even if it's for an hour or so.
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't have to
it's
be
so
a whole day.
invigorating.
Yeah. I mean, and then, you know, go into the bathroom and get a towel and scream in it.
What?
Go
Where's
into
this
the
going?
go into the bathroom, buy
I didn't know where you
You
were
want to
going
really
with this.
try.
I didn't know where to
go in, buy
Go scream
yourself.
into a towel.
Go in, buy yourself.
You're not making it any sound any better.
Hold a
Somebody
towel.
pounded on the door. Honey, are you okay? What's that muffled noise?
Hold a towel over your mouth and just scream. Let it out.
Suffocate? Oh.
Brian, I'm going to try this tomorrow discreetly. I want to see how it goes over in my house. I'll
Yeah,
let you know.
see how that goes.
And that's what you do. I do it into a pillow.
Oh, my.
There's 7 of us in this
That was
house.
going on next to me. I'm right next to you. I can hear that. I didn't know what was going on there.
Yes. I mean, and that's what you do. I mean, you have to find these little things that can help you just through it. And then you just have to leave it at the door. You have to learn how to leave it at the door, you know. And you know that
Honestly, that's part of why I do what I do with the dogs. Because like it relaxes me. You know, like it's not I don't know. That's what you fall down this rabbit hole of helping like all these like pets that are abandoned or trying to get to their forever home, and it takes me out of myself.
Dogs are great. Sometimes at
Like
night.
for like an hour, hour and a half, like I don't think about like what I have to do for work or
Right.
like where I'm at financially or health wise or anything like that.
Right.
It's me and the dog, or me and the cat, or me and the mini horse. It's just it's me out of myself.
You have a
Yeah.
mini horse?
Listen, we're running along on time. Let's not get into his mini horse story.
So
Like Robin Big.
Listen, it's U-Haul charges $19.99 for a cleanup on their van, no matter what kind of mess it is. So we rented a U-Haul to transport a mini horse and brought it back.
And
After
who
it's
rode
done
in the
it-
back of the U-Haul with the mini horse? That just
We used 2 bales of hay that they had at the mini horse sanctuary to get it into the van.
Oh, jeez.
And
you guys
could
must have been a
only
bloody mess
imagine-
when you came out of that friggin' U-Haul.
You could only imagine the smell of the U-Haul. Even mini horses do their business just like a regular sized horse. So yeah, it was one and done. I'm just like, we were going to use my SUV, and like we thought better of it, and we went to the U-Haul and rented it. And as messy as it was, she only got charged $20.
Wow. Next time you're going to put a tarp down before you put the mini horse in.
They need traction, them mini horses.
I mean, for $20, I don't want to pay $20 and 20 more bucks.
20
So I'm
bucks
just
well
gonna
spent.
$20 one time.
Yes.
All right, man.
Like $20 is $20. Like that could buy me 5 lottery tickets, and I could win a lot of money.
Yes.
But
I'm still
I mean,
trying
it
to
won't
do that.
happen. Yeah. Still trying to do that. Talk about no stress. Like,
Yes.
let me win that $900 something million.
But it's just going to be another type of stress. So,
I don't think so. I don't think so. It could be another stress from an island that I own.
there you go.
Sounds like an experience.
Well, I hope we helped you.
Yeah, it's always good to laugh.
Yes, we have to laugh and we have to leave it at the door. And we have
Look,
to.
and I didn't even have to go into the bathroom by myself with a towel. So I appreciate that.
There you go. Well, when it doesn't.
I'm so yelling at a friggin' towel tomorrow. I want to see the whole family pounding on the bathroom door. Are you okay? I can't wait. I'm going to do it tonight when I go in.
Then walk to the beach and just scream. I don't know what to tell you.
Look, it's still hot out in Florida, so there are people still at the beach. Like, if I go to the beach and scream next weekend, no, I can't. Well, yeah. So I'm headed to Charlotte now, but people are going to be there looking at me like I'm the crazy person on the beach.
Yeah, hello, 911. I got a guy yelling at a friggin' towel down there
Yeah.
on the beach. I think he's going to hurt himself.
Then you say, "Hello, officer. My name is Brian. I have a girl." And
And
that's
call
all
Lori.
you need
She'll
to
explain
do.
the whole thing to you.
I have a what?
Give him Lori's
I have a
number.
girlfriend.
I have a
She's stressed when I
girl.
come to the beach and yell.
I'm,
I have a girl.
I don't want to yell at my girl. So
I might
I'm
start a
yelling.
support group that involves yelling in towels. I think it's a good idea. I'm going to look into this.
It is a very good idea.
Go buy a box of towels.
Yes, it
I
is.
invite all my most stressful friends over.
Yes. And if you need to talk even more, you know where I am. You know my number. I sent it to you. And I'm always here to listen.
I appreciate it.
And
Yeah,
keep
that's what
coming
you do.
back.
And we appreciate your call. Lori
Yes.
always looks forward to hearing your voice.
Yes. You and
You're
Eric,
welcome.
you guys are my big brothers. My old big brothers.
Damn, that's fucked up. I mean, that's messed up. My bad. I'm trying to be good because I know there's a little kid around.
No,
and I just
he's in the
messed it up.
house. He left.
He's in. He's heard worse.
Brian's on the phone. Get him out of here.
We're good. No, I love listening to my old people and our old crew.
Vintage.
Vintage.
There
Our
you go.
vintage. No, our old crew. Our old
Vintage.
our
Yeah, but
honey badgers.
Vintage sounds better.
Okay. But
Work with me.
okay. just hang in there. That's breathe and count to 10. That's all we can do because life just really sucks some days.
Yep. This too shall pass.
Yes, this too shall pass. One day at a
Well,
time there,
for
bud.
lending me your ear and letting me vent. I appreciate it.
No problem. That's what we're here for. And if we're ever reading the book and you're really struggling, just say, call in and say, hey, put the freaking book down. I need help. That's what we're here for.
We'll give you a code word.
I'm not going to interrupt while you're reading from a book.
That's what we're here for.
Whatever your code word will be, I'm ready to throw in the towel.
That doesn't
Screw
sound
both
good at
of
all.
Then let it eat you away, okay?
What? What?
You have to scream into the towel. You have to get it
all
out. Get it out. All right, Guy.
Yeah, we're running late here. We're gonna hang it up.
All right.
Take
Y'all
it
get some
easy.
sleep.
Yes, take it easy. And you know my number if you're really struggling because I know you're on the road and we can talk.
I appreciate it.
All right, dear.
All right. Y'all have a great night.
All right,
You
Brian,
too, honey.
Good night, buddy.
All right. Thanks.
Well, folks.
Well, that was Sexy Voice Brian from Florida.
All right, folks. Well, we're running late. I think we're gonna
Call it a night.
call it a night here. Thanks for tuning in. As always, remember that recovery works if you work it.
Peace out, everybody.
Good night. Thanks for tuning in.